Yo, what's up, guys? It's Austin with the After View podcast. We're gonna roll over some topics, man. We got some really exciting news. Got my best friend right here, Joe Nichols. Dude, we got a great week ahead of us. We're just hanging out, just being bros, just chilling. But yeah, whoever's gonna join, thank you for joining. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Get the there you go. Looks like I got someone join. Definitely appreciate it. But like I said, hit that like and subscribe and just keep it going, guys. So that's you.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
That's legit
Oh,
something.
okay. That's cool.
No,
But
I'll be honest. I don't really use
dude,
YouTube that much, bro. So this is new to me.
dude, I love it. All
You're a
right,
YouTube
cool.
guy. You're the YouTube guy.
Yeah. So we're just gonna hit some NFL matchups. You know what? Before I even start, let's just talk about last week, man. What a crazy week one in the season. I mean, some of the big matchups. I mean, my Packers got just smacked. Panthers almost pulled one out.
Well, we say that all the time. Typical, almost pulled out, but they didn't. The Browns did.
Dude, Jacoby Brissett, man, that's pretty wild. But hey, listen, like it's a long season, and Baker Mayfield said that like everyone's gonna try to write him off, and everyone's acting like Super Bowl.
That's right.
But I guess there's 16 more weeks. I think some people knew my take on the Carolina Panthers, but I might be switching a little bit. I think Baker gets his swag back. I think they could be competitive in division. But I mean, looking around other games, I got some big stuff to talk about. I'm just gonna keep hammering that Russell Wilson hate, man. I'm just gonna talk about it,
Hater.
But dude, I'm a hater, man. I'm a hater. Yeah. So tell me some of your takes on the last week, man.
All right. Well, what an absolute garbage first week.
Amen.
Let's just say it like that. Coaches. I mean, I'm not a coach, but I'm gonna talk to the coaches for a second. 4 or 3 preseason games.
It's 3 preseason since the last
but
CBA.
Yeah, 3 preseason games, but you have these joint practices, and you still have the Broncos fumbling it twice on the goal line. Dude. You still have kickers missing field goals all the time. You still have Joe Burrow throwing 4 picks
and a fumble.
Yeah, you have our offensive line. There's a Panthers fan. Baker fumbled it like 2 or 3 times from the snap. So it's just sloppy. It just doesn't even feel like they even used the preseason.
That sounds about right. I think that I see that a lot. Just like last week, last year, week 1 was just a wash. If you want to go off of week 1, man, the Packers were the worst team in the NFL last year. Obviously, everyone knows that they won 13-4, and they got beat by the 49ers. We're not going to talk about that. But pretty sure the Titans got smacked. I think he had Chandler Jones last year had like 5 sacks in week 1. I think he finished out with 12, but I don't know.
He looked good. He ran the ball well, but that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, you have the 2 number 1 seeds last year getting smacked by the Arizona Cardinals and the Saints, respectively. It's gonna be a long season. We still got 18 weeks left, including the bye week, or we got 17 weeks left. But it's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprise. Expecting more of Trey Lance. I think the biggest laugh was not Russell Wilson. I know you, Russell Wilson. For me, it's Kyle Murray. Dude. Sure does sound like they should have kept the film thing in the contract.
Holy crap. Hey, listen, man. I know you. I was on it early. I said, I don't like Kyler Murray. Don't like Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
And I will give them this. You know what? They went up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs look like the best team in the league. Yeah, I think the Bills and the Chiefs, but I give the nod to the Chiefs, man.
Yeah, but
no turnovers.
Chiefs
defense could be leaky, man. We'll see, dude. I'm so ready for tonight. Chiefs Chargers. Who's your pick?
Experience Chiefs.
I go for it.
I got Chiefs. I'm gonna go Chiefs 42. I'm gonna go that. Well, no. Chiefs 35. I'm gonna go Chargers 21.
I can see it.
I don't think it's that close. I don't.
Dude, I could see that.
I don't.
I mean, Justin Herbert, he's a year 3 quarterback. He's one of the best in the league. But do you trust his coach? I don't know if I trust Brandon Staley. He made a lot of weird decisions last year.
He's got the offensive weapons, but Herbert he still feels like a rookie.
I could see it. I think by all metrics last year, he was top 5 QB in the NFL. I like Herbie a lot. I don't know if I trust his coach. I think that's my biggest thing with him. It's hard to trust Brandon Staley, man.
I agree.
Dude. All right, let's roll into week 2, man. Let's close that door on week 1. It's a crazy
That door needs to
week.
close on
Dude,
week 1.
that was rough for everyone.
I'll pause there and say another team that was surprising me a lot was the Raiders. I expected so much more.
Dude, that was you know what? I'll give you that. We talked about it earlier this week.
Yeah.
I'm kind of big on the Raiders just because I think Derek Carr is a solid quarterback. I really like Josh McDaniels in the second iteration of his head coaching career. I'm a big Josh McDaniels guy. But also gotta be real, man. I'm a big Tay Adams man. I love Devontae.
Yeah.
Big Green Bay guy. So
yeah, I'm still not sold on Carr.
yeah,
You know that I've never have been.
Dude, it's hard to be.
I don't think it ever will be. Las Vegas, get a quarterback.
I see it.
But better quarterback. He got a quarterback.
He looked weird, man. I'll give him that. He looked kind of weird versus the Chargers. He came out firing, and then he just had 2 bad picks.
2 bad picks, but man, he was taking sacks.
He was, yeah.
That 4th down play, man. You gotta get rid of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get rid of the ball. You gotta get rid of quickly. You know the blitz is coming. What are you doing?
He's historically been one of the worst quarterbacks against the blitz, and you talk about a guy like Joe Burrow, man, who last year got sacked 9 times in a divisional game, win the game. You just have to be good against the blitz to succeed in the NFL. I think every year you got an influx of defensive players who are just good. Look at Micah Parsons. Year 1 guy hit. There's a lot of Trayvon Walker, who intercepted that Carson Wentz pass and just on the defensive line. Rookie, first game in the NFL.
That's right. He made a statement.
You have an influx of defensive talent, and you just don't have the same rate of offensive line talent coming in the NFL. You got to be able to pick up the blitz as a quarterback.
And it's nothing against the receivers because DT, best receiver, one of the best receivers, top 5, top 4,
number 1, baby.
No, top 4 in my opinion.
Who's number 1?
Dude, right now.
If you say Tyreek Hill, I'll lose my mind.
No, it's not Tyreek Hill. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Oh man.
I think Diggs and Devontae Adams are on the same level. I think they could be number 1. I think there's a few things holding them back. Diggs, what holds him back is the amount of talent around him. Tay, I don't know. Right now, quarterback.
Yeah.
I think with Aaron Rodgers, he was number 1, but it was just Tay, so double coverage. People like Jamar Chase have T. Higgins, Boyd right there, so they get more, but yeah.
I got it. I get it. Yeah. Dude, let's roll into week 2. So first thing I want to talk about is think about a few years ago, right? You're looking at the betting lines. I know that's something I've kind of followed. I don't necessarily bet because I don't know, but if I was a betting man and I've followed these lines closely, the lines have continually the margin of difference in the better, how much better teams are than the other ones. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, you see a line and it'd be 6.5 points. And now, the Texans at Broncos, Bears at Packers, and Falcons at Rams are all, dude, the home team is a better team in those games, but they are all favored by 10 points. That's crazy. That's a touchdown, a field goal, which that might be how the game ends. But, Indy was favored big at the Texans. I want to hit that game first. Indy was favored big at the Texans, man. They got lucky that they came out of there. I saw they cut the kicker, but they got lucky they came out of there with the tie.
That's mighty eyes for you.
Dude.
In all these games, Texans at Broncos, Bears at Packers, Falcons at Rams, Seahawks at 49ers. Let's take Bengals at Cowboys. Let's go ahead and eliminate the last 2. But the first Texans, Bears, Falcons game, the difference in quarterback and coach is not even close. Talking Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? I think Russell Wilson is that much better than anybody on the Texans team. I know you just
Oh yeah,
there.
nah. I
Matt
would
Stafford,
say
Marcus Mariota. There's just
well,
such a difference.
I like that. I like that take. I would say that the gap between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields is bigger than the gap between Russell Wilson and Davis Mills, but only because you're talking about like two-time back-to-back or back-to-back MVP, probably like number 1 or 2 quarterback in the league versus the guy who's probably the 32nd quarterback in the league. Like versus, so they had some, seriously, they had some advanced metrics.
Yeah.
And under blitz, he was completing 50% of his balls.
Yeah.
He threw, I think he completed 8 balls in that game versus San Fran. But I mean, I'll say this: I think Davis Mills is. I mean, he proved himself last year. He can play, but he's nowhere near the talent of Russell Wilson. He's nowhere near the experience. But I think that, man, I think Russell Wilson, he's a good quarterback. I'm not a huge fan of his. I think he's still very talented. I think he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's still top 10 for sure.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
But I don't know if I feel about, and again, like Nate Hackett came from Green Bay. I don't know how I feel about him. He's never called plays before. You know, Matt LaFleur was always the offensive coordinator, and he did a botched job at the end of that game.
Horrible.
So,
all right, well, you know,
I don't know if
in any circumstance though, they're on the goal line 3 times.
Yeah,
I'll
give him
that. No points. Once the field goal. No,
I think it was 4 times.
4 times.
I think then they turned the ball over on downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's tough, man. Within the 5-yard line. Is that going to happen again? I give you that.
Is that going to no? You know, I think most of the time they come out with at least 17.
Yeah.
Especially with Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams, man, he's a baller.
Should be getting the ball more than Melvin Gordon.
Dude, how about the not even to like skip topics? How about them terrible defensive lines in that game, man? They were running the ball all over the place. Like every time I looked up, Rashad Penny's making a 14-yard run. Javonte Williams, dude, holy crap, man. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. I'm debating. Just because it's the NFL, I kind of want to take the points and say that the Texans are. I think the Texans are going to lose, but I don't know if they're going to lose by 10 points. But then again, at any given moment, a second-year quarterback can throw 3 picks and they can kick. They can score 6 points. And at any given moment, a Russell Wilson team can put up 42 points.
28-10 is my take.
I could see that. You know what? I think
28-10.
That's an 18-point spread.
Jared Judy goes off.
I think
Sutton goes off.
I think I give the Texans more points than that. I would say 28-17. I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go Broncos in the points. I'm gonna take the 10 points and eat it. I guess say 28-17. I think the Texans are better than people think. I think they kind of remind me of the Lions. I wasn't sure about that Lovie Smith hiring, but I'm not a big fan of it. But clearly his team's got some dog in them. And I'll give him that, you know.
And after the whole Deshaun Watson thing, this team was so tired. They just wanted to play football. They didn't want to be in the light. Deshaun Watson threw him through the haywire. It's time to play ball. It's time to win. Mills is the guy. He's ready to prove something, but it ain't going to be enough.
No, I'll take you there. Yeah, I mean, I think by the end of the year we could look up and they could be a 3 or 4 win team.
Yeah,
and I think that would be expected.
Yeah, it's always expected.
Dude, how about that Sunday Night Football, Bears and Packers?
Bears Packers.
I'll take Packers in the points. Aaron Rodgers is pissed, man. He wants to man. That was a tough showing.
Go ahead.
If it's not real raining, I don't trust the Bears defensive line. I think Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon both have big games. I think they combine for 250 yards of total offense just themselves in rushing and receiving combined.
I think if Packers really want to get going, it's actually not on the heels of Aaron Rodgers, on the heels of Jones and Dillon.
Jones and Dillon are beasts, man.
Aaron Rodgers can only do so much with let's just say the weak receiver core he's got. Cobb's a little older. Watson, I mean,
dude, that ball went right through his hand. Holy crap, man!
That ball in that game could be totally different. Confident. He's a young guy. NFL. I don't like to use the word too much. Confidence. They need confidence because, what more confidence do you need than you're playing in the NFL? But when you're a rookie, I think that confidence still matters. I think your first year, if you get a chance to play, you make some drops, can be much harder to come over than if you were a 2 or 3 year. So I think Watson needs to get going. I think Rodgers keeps putting the ball in the money. He can't take those sacks,
Nah, that was
but he's
brutal,
got
man.
some of
4
the guys are
sacks.
open. No one's open.
No one's open, dude.
I think first down, second down is going to matter so much, and penalties. I mean, Packers looked very undisciplined.
You did. A lot of rookies on that team, man.
Young team, and I think my one concern for Aaron Rodgers is does he have the time to wait for these guys to get going?
I could see it.
Does he? Oh.
That's tough, man. It's tough.
But with all that being said, Packers 31, Bears 14. I still like it. I still like the betting line.
Man, I don't know if I give the Packers that many points. I could see it. I mean, I could see them scoring 31. I'd put them in that like 24 range myself, just because I think there's so much that needs to be done offensively. I'll say this. I really like the adjustment, Matt. I know, drop that ball right. That was walk-in touchdown. There's 7 right there. And then getting stuffed on the goal line, that's brutal. That doesn't always happen. That's another 7, even 3. That game really should have been 17. They should have been able to score 17 points.
But that's not disrespect, Kirk Cousins and that team.
I'll say this. Like, when this first happened, my first thought was, like, there's no way that Kirk Cousins, like, the Vikings are going to win the NFC North. I'm saying right now, what I'm going to say is I don't think they're going to win the NFC North, but I think they have a chance to win the NFC North. I think I could see it happening. I would not be surprised if they won it. I would be like, you know what? Like, that's they got a good team, man. They got a good squad. I still think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers just wins, just because I think it's just A-Rod, man. You can't bet against him.
Can't bet against them, but there hasn't been a team that looked as good as the Vikings in that NFC North in a long time.
What? You're talking about the Packers won 39 games the last 3 years.
Oh, I'm not talking about. Let me rephrase it. Outside the Packers.
Oh, outside the Packers. Oh, okay.
Outside the Packers.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Respectful. Dude, I was about to lose my mind, bro. I was like, man, the Packers won almost 40 games the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, no Super Bowls, but
dude. No Super Bowls. Man, how many Super Bowls Panthers have? Quarterbacks ever win MVPs? I got 7 in the last 25 years, man.
Yeah.
7.
You haven't even allowed 27 years.
We got between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
96, 97, 98. Well, 26 years. We won 7. Green Bay's won 7 MVPs in the last 26 years.
Green Bay fans are more excited about MVPs than Super Bowls.
Shoot, that's all we get sometimes, man. Hey, we got 2 Super Bowls in that year too. You know what?
We have no Super Bowls. We have Cam Newton's 2015 year, which, yeah, whatever. Thank you, Michael Orr, for not knowing how to block. That's okay.
Should have told him to die for that ball, man.
Hey, Cam Newton gets made fun of for not falling on football, and then Joe Burrow is still called Joe Burr after he missed multiple open receivers in that final drive. Rewatch that drive, and he had open downfield all the time, and he didn't hit him.
I agree with you there. I agree, but
he's Joe Burr.
Hey, Joe Burr took his team to the Super Bowl in year 2.
Yeah,
and Joe Burr beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and Joe Burr won 3 playoff games in 1 season. Granted, they lost the Super Bowl, but they lost the Super Bowl to the Rams, man. With a bad offensive line, he missed some open receivers, but he also hit a lot of tight window throws, man.
I know we weren't going to get into that because that's like off-season talk.
He moved the chains, man.
He plays those games against the Titans 10 times. Titans won 8 times. He plays that game 10 times against the Chiefs
because they have a better
Chiefs
defensive line.
8 times. He's lucky he didn't face the Bills.
I agree there. I think they would have lost, but you know what? I digress.
That guy gets so lucky.
Oh, man, I think he's just good. I think he's just good, man. So let's hit that Falcons at Rams game. Are we already ready to write off the Falcons seasons? Because I don't think we are, man. I think, you know what? I don't think Marcus Mariota is good. I don't think Arthur Smith is good, but I think they have what it takes to be feisty. I think they have what it takes to kind of give some of those teams in that division some headaches.
Yeah, the Panthers.
I could see them being. I could see them. I mean, they almost be. I mean, they were up big versus the Saints, and then they, Atlanta Falcons.
No, there's a lot there. I think we saw some week one mess ups, especially with the Saints. I think Saints and Broncos. Difference is Saints came out the dub, but I think like rewatching the Broncos game, like Russell Wilson plays that game again, probably puts up 30 points. Jameis Winston plays that game again, and he uses so many more weapons, and they figure it out. I don't think the Falcons are good at all. I think their offense is horrendous. I think Desmond Ridder was not a great pick. I think what the Falcons did last game, I don't know. I do not. I think that's the best they can play, and teams are going to get so much better.
I actually love that take. I'm not gonna lie. That's a great freaking take. I love that.
I don't
Like
think
that was spitting, dude. You know what? I almost
That's the best they got.
Dude, as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I always I don't know why, but I always I like the way. I don't think Marcus Mariota is a good quarterback. I just like the way I just like he runs, man. Like, and it's always hard to put teams away that have a quarterback can run. But then I sit there and think about a couple of years ago with Deshaun Watson, that the most ran all over the place. Had a ton of passing yards. They won 4 games, and the Atlanta's defense beyond AJ Terrell, who's now become one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, when he was his first year,
Terrell Allen,
the worst.
Terrell and Grady, baby.
Dude, I think they have a couple good defensive pieces, man. Who did they draft? Who was their wide receiver that they drafted? Because I know they had the tight end from Kyle Pitts a couple years ago from Florida.
They got Desmond Ridder.
Who's there? I thought they drafted a really good wide receiver, and that everyone was like, "Oh man!" I know they lost Julio Jones, who actually looked pretty decent in that. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw that Tampa game, but man, that was a nice catch.
I watched it,
dude. What's going on with the Rams? Like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get to that quite yet. Yeah, I'm gonna save that conversation for later because I want to talk about the Rams. What is going on with them, man?
You just said that.
What?
We're going with the Rams.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm saying I want to talk. I want to talk. No, you're good. I want to talk more about this. Sorry, guys. We got a little list of stuff topics. But so Falcons and Rams, dude. I'm picking the Rams and the points, man. I mean, the Falcons. I could easily see them. I could see that being a 31-6 game, just getting shellacked by an offense that just got embarrassed. A week and a half ago. At that point, I could see them getting shellacked. Cooper Kupp putting up a lot of yards. I don't think AJ Terrell is going to get a lot of help. I think they're going to get crushed.
I actually don't like the Rams with the points.
Oh.
I think that Matthew Stafford's hurt.
I could see it.
I think it's legit. It's a little shorter thing. I don't think he came back very well from it. No Odell right now. The defensive line, Aaron Donald got a little chip to him. But I don't necessarily think that's moving over positive. Gotten some off-season little whack stuff with the fights.
Underrated.
Jalen Ramsey, he's starting to get
burnt toast, dude.
He's getting exposed. People are figuring him out. Cam Akers, where are you at? How many snaps? 3? He had negative yards, didn't he?
That's the reason I won, man. Yep. I think he had 3 carries for -1 yards.
Your running backs aren't doing well, and your quarterback's hurt. I mean, I literally. And I think I love Sean McVay. I think he's good. But kind of like Kyle Shanahan, I think it's easy for them to get in their own way. And when their quarterback's hurting, I don't think they like to slow down their playbook. I think the Rams, if less off Matthew Stafford, they got to go simple. And if Cam Akers ain't there to help them go simple, I still like them winning, but I like them winning 17-13.
Tight game, man.
Tight game.
So you have no faith in the Falcons, and you definitely don't seem to have faith in the Rams.
No,
at least at this point in the season, I'm guessing.
Yes, at this point in the season, Matthew Stafford starts looking better, starts throwing the ball better, gets the ball downfield. His downfield ball looked horrendous.
It did.
He gets that going. Cam Akers gets going. Offensive line gets going. I think their defense will be fine. I think their defense will start being fine this week. I played the Bills. We'll get into the Bills.
They got crushed.
But yeah.
Crushed.
I just think Matthew Stafford doesn't have the arm right now for the play, but Sean McVay wants to run. So that's my take. 17-13.
Dude, I see it. All right. Seahawks at 49ers. I don't think I've ever taken the Seahawks more than this. Like 8.5-point favorite, man. The 49ers are 8.5-point favorite. I don't know if they watched Trey Lance play, but I have about zero faith that the 49ers could cover the spread.
I think 49ers win.
I think 49ers win too. I don't think they win by I don't think they win by 8.5 points.
I think they do.
Oh man, dude.
Tell me why not. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance and how well the Seahawks played. The Seahawks don't have to play great to keep it tight.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, or let me rephrase this. The Seahawks, if they have an okay game, they will keep it tight. Like, it'll be a tight game. I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to score 34. And I think the only thing that I'm worried about in this is if it's a if it's a mid-scoring game, like if it's in the 20s, if it's in the teens, I'll say this, they're not going to cover the spread. But if it's in the 20s, I think the 49ers could cover the spread. I think it's a potential because I think the 49ers defense could be that good. But, man, dude, I just don't know if I trust Trey Lance make it have a 2-pick game and a fumble.
I'm going to say one, simple thing with the score. And I think this will cover it all. 49ers lose 17-14 with no Kittle. 49ers win 28-17 with Kittle. I think Kittle's blocking the ability to downfield block helps Debo move to the outside. I think Trey Lance, when he's running for his life because something happens, he can dump it off to someone like Kittle, makes a major difference.
I like that.
I think Kittle, I won't say it's for most teams. I think the only other player that potentially outside of a quarterback that can keep a team going like this is maybe Derrick Henry. I think Kelsey could kind of have that type of vibe. But I think Kittle runs that offense more. I also say this.
Kittle's a much better blocker than Kelsey.
I'll say this. Trey Lance is one more bad game away from Jimmy G walking back into that starting role.
I don't know. I think Kyle's going to give him a little more leash than that. If he has a really bad game, I could see that. I could see by week 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But he has to have a string of just all-time bad games. And I will say this. I think they're going to wash out what happened last week at Chicago.
Right.
I mean, there was 3 inches of water on that field.
And then you can say the same about Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Is anybody expecting Geno Smith to sling the ball like he did last week? No.
I mean, he looked good, man. He looked good.
But can he do it 2 weeks in a row?
We'll see. But, I'll say this. I think that one of the biggest things I like about that Seattle team is they got a little edge. Every Seahawks team's got a little edge. But they have a pretty good running game. Their running backs for the first time in God knows how long are finally healthy.
Making pennies.
It's like watching. It's like the Ravens. Just their running backs are always hurt, always hurt.
Wow.
But I mean, they finally got a good. And I would hesitate in a low scoring game to bet, this big of a money line versus any team that's got a good running game. If they can just keep the ball out of the Seahawks' hands or the 49ers' hands. And for all we know, Trey Lance could just give the ball right back to them anyway. Because he's not been that accurate. He's not been that accurate last year in training camp and preseason.
He looked bad in preseason.
He looked bad in the preseason. He did not look good in the preseason. Not compared to what he should have looked at year 2 in Kyle Shanahan offense.
And wanting to get rid of Jimmy G.
Last one, Bengals at Cowboys. I think the Bengals were going to cover this big time.
35-3, man.
I mean, dude. Cooper Rush, I know he came out last year and won that game versus the Vikings. He is not going to do that again. It ain't happening. Not to my knowledge, not to anything that I could do. I can see.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals dog walk them at this point.
Yeah.
I think they could win by 24 points, honestly.
I'm looking up right now. Is T. Higgins playing? What's that concussion looking like for T. Higgins? Let's see.
I'm interested to see because I'm actually starting him too.
He's
on my team.
Let's get him. Set to miss practice on Thursday. Limited Wednesday with concussion. Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good.
Does not look good. That's a difference right there. I don't like Joe Burrow. Never have. As a
He is
person,
questionable.
think
Yeah.
he's a great quarterback. I got Bengals 31, Cowboys 7.
I love that. Even if T Higgins is questionable, dude. You know what? I love
Bengals are
Dak.
gonna sling it.
I'll say this: they
Dak's not
looked they
playing.
looked bad before
Dak.
Dak got hurt.
Yeah.
Like they looked bad before Dak got hurt. I fell asleep on the couch watching that game, thinking to myself, "God, the Cowboys are going to suck this year." Does Mike McCarthy lose his job by the end of the season? I think there's a possibility. This is year 3 now. The first year Dak gets hurt, they win. I mean, like what, one game? I think they win like 3 or 4 games.
You know,
They had a great year last
Jerry
year,
Jones made a big mistake with that.
paying him $40 million a year. He's a good. I like him. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Let me rephrase this. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
Do not think. I think the issue is they do not have the quarterback they need to win.
No.
Super Bowl.
And now they don't have the offensive line. And you know what's really funny about this is they don't have the offensive line. You know who finally actually looked pretty decent again? Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
You know, that's really funny.
This is money year for him.
It's money year, fam. Dude, you got to show up and show out. Money
show up, show out.
Anytime your running back is like Jerry Jones talking about, like the best or like the heartbeat of your offense, the leader of that offense, it sounds like Jerry Jones is trying to sell that Zeke Elliott's still good to us. That's what it sounds like to me.
He's got to sell something.
Dude, he's got to sell something. Can't sell the Cowboys are good every year.
No.
Dude.
We
Cowboys are going to be terrible this year.
For that no more.
I think the Cowboys are going to be really bad this year. Yeah. I think even after Dak comes back, I think they only said it's like 4 weeks. They could start 0-5. I don't like right now in this moment. Eagles, I don't see them beating. I definitely don't see them beating the Eagles.
Eagles run that division.
I mean, the Giants just won a game. Like I think if they play conservative offense and Saquon Barkley has that kind of game again, they could beat the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. And definitely, I mean, I understand, not a lot of people like Carson Wentz. I think I'm kind of out on Carson Wentz, not because he's not talented, but because 2 teams have gotten him out of their locker room so quickly. I think there's just something weird going on with him. But I think the Commanders could still beat the Cowboys with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I still hold to the fact that Carson Wentz is playing Prince Harry.
He does look like Prince Harry. That's kind of funny.
They're saying guys looking the same.
All right. Let's go hit the 49ers one more time. Just tap on that a little bit. I think I'm just kind of worried about their season. When the 49ers are good, the NFL is good. But are the 49ers just going to continue their trend this year? Like everyone just kind of expected. I mean, you already see, how many points of Vegas is favoring them versus the Seahawks. But the big question is, are they just going to continue just being good? Because we've seen Kyle Shanahan without Jimmy G. It's not good. It ain't pretty.
Yeah.
Are they just going to be a solid? Are they just going to win 10 games this year, just like everyone expects it? Because
49ers, yeah.
I'll give them there's 17 games in a season. I could see Kyle Shanahan pulling something out of his butt for quite a few of those games. If Trey Lance plays like this, one, is he going to last? But if he does last, do they win 8 games? I mean, they just lost versus the Bears. Now I get it. Monsoon. I'm excited to see what they look like.
Give me Kittle and you see a totally different team.
I'm excited to see what they look like, just to see what a true, I want to get a real kind of picture of what Trey Lance actually is. Because right now, there's not much to go off of. And what the little there's to go off of, no one wants to go off of that because that is not good.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the Rams in their division. I want to talk about this later, but NFC West, they got a lot going on. The Rams, is that the fastest? I mean, I remember back in 2015, Broncos win the Super Bowl, right? Tough. They beat the Panthers. Well, obviously they lose Peyton Manning, their quarterback, and they just go on it just gets weird. Everyone forgets about them. Everyone forgets that the Broncos exist. No one thinks they're going to be good, and it's fine. I feel like the Rams just kind of fell off the face of the earth. Everyone's talking about the Bills. Everyone's talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're gone. What happened? You know what? I'm a little worried about the Rams this year. I think they could still win a lot of games. I don't know if they're going to make a deep playoff run. I don't know if their offensive line is good enough to make a deep playoff run, and that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, the offensive line is very much reason for concern. I heard on it earlier, and I'll mention it again. Matthew Stafford's injury.
Hmm.
Everybody's like, "Oh, that's not injury." Yeah, it is. He was doing Major League Baseball rehab stuff to get it
What?
back.
Yeah, Tommy Johns, wasn't it?
Yeah, essentially, it was Tommy John. He's doing the same thing. Um, I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's motivated. I'll say it just like that. Um, I think that they have an identity problem because they're winners, but no one's acting like they're winners.
Hmm.
I think everybody's written them off because of the two big dogs right now are the Chiefs and the Bills. I don't think people think that Matthew Stafford's in the same category. Honestly, and I'll say it, I think that a lot of people, including myself, would say lucky Rams that they got the Bengals last year, and not the Chiefs and not the Bills.
Yeah, I think they would lose versus either one of those teams.
Yeah, I'm big on the Bills. I'm not a Bills fan, but you'll catch on. I'm big on
Dude,
the Bills.
I like Josh Allen, man. He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
He's just
He's a
a
winner.
he's just a blue collar dude, man.
yeah.
He's just like everyone else,
He wants to bleed.
dude. Him stiff arm in that quarterback or stiff arm in that linebacker, man. Dude, I was just football's back. Football is back,
Some of
baby.
those runs, he lowered that shoulder. I'm like, dude, you got it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That-
oh yeah. Oh,
that-
man, yeah.
That's a big boy, dude. So next topic, man, we're just gonna hit my top 5 teams. Now, then this is my list. This is subjective. There's one team on here that I really, really love that no one is talking about for some reason. So Chiefs. I'm gonna run through my list. I'm gonna let him go hit his
1
list.
through 5.
I'm gonna go 5.
No order.
I'll go 5-1. So my first team, my 5th best team in the NFL right now, I think are the LA Chargers, and I think because of one guy, Justin Herbert. I don't know how I feel about Brandon Staley, but Justin Herbert's a generational talent. I think he could be. I mean, I think when Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady retires, it's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, in no specific order, but it's those 3 guys.
Yeah.
I think Deshaun Watson's good. I think he's talented. I don't think he's in the same stratosphere as those 3 guys.
I think he is. If you look at what he did in the first couple of years, I think the flip side of Deshaun Watson is where he at. We know where he's at.
With a massage therapist.
Okay, we didn't have
I tell you what, I say this, you know what, you think this, I can guarantee you this. Deshaun Watson is only getting massaged by a male massage therapist from the Browns from here on out. Ain't no females walking in that room. Allegedly. Yes, seriously. I think number 4, and man, it's so hard to tell right now because there's so many teams that got big question marks. I'll say Tampa Bay just because of Tom. Their defense is great. Tom's clearly just dude's locked in. I know he didn't look amazing versus the Cowboys. I think Tom's locked in. Tom will be fine. Their defense is nasty, man.
Yeah.
Their defense gets after people. If you can just get after the quarterback, dude. Number 3, the Ravens. Man,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, he's a money year, dude. I don't know why he's playing. We can talk about this later. But Lamar Jackson, they are playing the Miami Dolphins. I have never been less impressed with the Miami Dolphins than I was versus the Patriots. They won. Why did they not win that game they should have easily won that game 35-7, man. Like, if everyone is as high on Tua as they make it out to be, dude, man, I am not high on Tua. It's a noodle arm quarterback, man. And the chances that like the comp is, he's going to be like Drew Brees. He's accurate, shorter, smaller guy who's accurate. Dude, that the chances that he is as accurate as Drew Brees is slim to none. And so I'm saying Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to roll. If I was a betting man, I would sell my house, sell my dog, sell my car to bet the Ravens that they're going to crush the Miami Dolphins. I think 14 points. And then number 2, the Bills, for obvious reasons. Josh Allen's a man. That defense looks great. You got Micah Hyde, who was an former Packer, and then Jordan Poyer on the back end of that defense playing safety. They're fantastic. Those rookies at the cornerback position have been coached up by their teammates, coached up by their coordinators. They look solid. Not a lot of mental mistakes, which is what you want to see. And the Chiefs, my number 1 pick. I think the Chiefs are just that is You know what? I think you say the Bills. I think you say the Chiefs. Bills had a couple turnovers. Chiefs didn't. One of those turnovers wasn't really Josh Allen's fault, but dude, I gotta go with the Chiefs, man. That's my top five. Move from five. You know, the big notables that I'm not in there. I'm not a Packer homer all the time. Packers aren't in there. They got some big question marks. The Rams aren't in there. They got some big question marks.
Major.
But man, what's your top five, dude?
Dude, I have to go in order.
You don't have to go in order.
I'll have to go in order. Let me give you my top 5 teams. One is definitely number 5 right now. You're going to laugh. You might throw something at me, but the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, I think, are a lot better. I think that defense has shaped up.
I want to see more from that defense.
I think defense is shaping up. I think the defensive line is good. I actually don't think it was a Packers fluke. I think it was a stand-up from the defensive line by the Vikings. I think Justin Jefferson making plays, Adam Thielen. I think Kirk Cousins is like, I got a team. I have leaders. I have winners. I think he's going to be yelling at some reporters this season.
I love it. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
If I die, I die, Kirk. I like that guy. No vax, man.
Yeah.
Not to get political.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Tampa Bay. Tom Brady looked good. You know, I think Tom Brady's going to get in Tom Brady's way, if anything.
Oh.
I'm not too nervous about that family situation, but I will say, like, you know, I'm glad he's back and all that. But, you know, I do believe in myself to try to be like a good man. And, like, if he did promise his wife, that's going to cause issues.
It's going to cause issues.
And I think with Tom Brady, he loves his family enough that could have caused some effect on the field. But with that being said, it's still Tom freaking Brady.
Tom freaking Brady. Can't bet against him.
He's the GOAT with Julio Jones, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. I mean, I got him right there. I got him at number 4, man.
Number 4, Tom Brady. They will be all right. Moving on. Number 3. This is kind of a tough one. But I got to go Chargers. Weapons.
I like it. I think I got some good weapons,
dude. They got
some
good weapons. I think they can get in their own way again. Their coach. But they've got the weapons. I love that team. I really do. Number 2. I'm just going to run through this real quick. Number 2, Chiefs.
Okay.
The Chiefs are good. I think last week they played a horrendous Cardinals team. I think the Chiefs are where they need to be. I think they're in playoff format already.
Oh, they're going to cruise through the season.
I think they'll cruise through the season.
Mahomes is on a mission.
But the one thing that I'm still not sold on their defense. I think Kyle Murray, like I said, should have kept that film contract.
Man, he did not look good.
They didn't look good.
Cliff Kingsbury.
AJ Green didn't look good.
Fastest midseason collapse ever.
AJ Green didn't look good. Yeah, if Cliff Kingsbury's if he's not careful, he'll be at he might end up back in Texas.
Shoot,
the University.
They had
of Texas.
University of Texas.
University of Texas.
I could see them firing.
But just throwing it out there, I think the reason I don't have them number 1 is because I do think when the Bills play Patrick Mahomes, they're going to sack him a few times. I do think Stephon Diggs is a better receiver than anybody the Chiefs have on their team. I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback. I think his running ability. I like Singletary a lot. I think he's a better running back than Carlos Hilaire. Von Miller's a better defensive lineman than anybody on the Chiefs. He thinks people doubt him. He literally was saying,
"Dude, he played."
He said, I think
that old man
doubt me.
Play.
I think people doubt me. No one doubts you, Vaughn.
No one doubts you, Vaughn.
But hey, he keeps that chip on his shoulder. You better watch out. Isaiah McKenzie does not drop that football again. I think the Bills are a better team. Not going off of stats of week 1 because it was week 1, but I'll just go off of what I've seen.
I like it. I think the Bills, I could see that. The Bills have a better defensive line. If they play the Chiefs today, I would probably take the Bills in a toss-up.
Yeah.
But it'd be tight, and it would be because of that defensive line and that defense. That is like number 1, number 2. All right. I like it. I don't mind the Vikings being in there. I think the only thing that I would say about that is I think their offense could be top 5. I don't know if their defense is there yet. because their defense has been really bad the last couple of years, and they haven't changed too much personnel. Now we've seen that, we've seen that before. Is just defenses who have not played well, and then they get a good defensive coordinator, someone who actually knows what they're doing, and next thing you know, they have top 5 defense in the NFL. That happened pretty much the first year that Matt LaFleur came to the Packers. Is we had top 10 defense, and historically versus Mike McCarthy. I mean, under Mike McCarthy, we had some of the worst defenses in the league. I mean, Philip Rivers threw for like 580 yards against us. I think he has like he's like single game highest passing yardage against us.
Just wait till Brian Flores gets to Carolina.
Their defense could be good, man. Brian Flores always got a good defense.
And our offense will be good.
We'll see.
And Matt Rule will be gone. It'll be a glorious day.
I see. I mean, maybe. I mean, thank God Drew Brees and Tom Brady won't be in that division by then, or by God. I mean, who knows? Tom Brady might play till he's 50. I doubt it. I think this is his last year because I think Giselle's about had it.
Tickets to see him play.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're gonna hit a couple more topics. We're gonna wrap this up a little bit. It's a long pod today, but there's a lot to talk about.
That's right.
Dude, the NFC, man. I mean, obviously, you guys see with both of us. We had the Bills, Chiefs on there, Chargers, right? We had 3 teams on there, and I had 4 teams in my top 5 that are all playing the AFC. Mm-hmm. NFC's just got a lot going on. I don't think talking about the Packers and the entire Packers got question marks. The entire NFC West has question marks. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the Cardinals. Who knows what's going on with them? Rams got questions on their offensive line.
Yeah.
The 49ers, they got big questions. The Seahawks, I don't think they're going to be that great. I think they could win a couple sneaky games. Dude, think about last year, how good that entire division was.
Oh yeah.
And beyond Seattle, and the only reason they were bad is because Russell Wilson missed half the season. They won 7 games last year. Everyone's acting like they won 3.
Yeah, they could have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: NFC South. I think the best team in the NFC is the New Orleans Saints.
The best team in the NFC?
NFC is the New Orleans Saints.
You think the New Orleans Saints are better than Tampa Bay?
I do think so. I do think so. I think.
Dude, I don't believe in Dennis Allen.
I think the one issue you're going to see with the Saints is Jameis Winston's just got to get back. He hasn't played a full season. And, his first season down there at Tampa Bay. New Orleans wasn't great. He didn't really play. He was under Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Second year balling towards ACL. Let's give him 2 or 3 weeks, get him going. His eyes are good.
Clearly.
So he'll be able to see.
He played well.
We're the right jersey. Well. Chris Olave is going to get good. Michael Thomas, he's playing.
Dude, that was one of my last draft picks.
Alvin
That boy gave me two tutties.
Two tutties. And Alvin Kamara's gone. Defense is good. I really do believe in the Saints. I'm a Panthers fan, so let's go Bucks if anybody. But I do believe in the Saints. I think that they'll cruise through the division. I think Jameis Winston will get going. I think he'll get that winning mentality in him. Then they'll head to the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. I mean, dude, that division's wide open. I mean, by golly, the Carolina Panthers can make the Super Bowl in that division.
They can make the Super Bowl. They can make the playoffs.
Who's a team that's just that much better than anybody in the division?
Well, I mean, in the division, like they could make the playoffs, but they can't. They're not going to make it to the Super Bowl.
In the NFC, is there anybody right now that you would take 14 points over than anybody? Maybe the Bucks and the Saints, but I think, based off of last week, I think the Panthers could play within 10 points to anybody.
In the entire NFC?
Yeah. You could say the Eagles.
I think.
Do you trust Jalen Hurts?
Oh man.
Could say the Packers, but what did they just show us?
Yeah.
Telling you, man, that division is so close.
That entire conference. The entire conference has got some weird stuff going on.
One team could emerge and take off. Tom Brady picked a great year to come back. But that's all I got to say.
NFC South.
That was a hot,
NFC West.
Very hot take. Your ears might be burning after that hot take. You're sitting this close.
Jeez, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think the Carolina is going to make it to the Super Bowl by any stretch.
No,
I think they could make it. I think they
no.
could get to the wild card.
I did not claim that we go to the Super Bowl. What I claimed is I don't know as of right now, based off of Week 1 performance. Aaron Rodgers without Dante looks weak right now. The best team, in my opinion, in that division right now is the Vikings. But overall, is there anybody right now that you would bet money that is 10 points better than anyone else? Falcons might be, they're worse than the Panthers. Falcons are. But is there anybody that's 10 points better? And I'm talking to my Carolina Panthers right now. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Baker Mayfield, healthy Christian McCaffrey. Wasn't enough to beat the Browns, but I think the Browns could come in our division and potentially they would be in the playoffs, especially if you got Jacoby Brissett. And unless I don't know if Deshaun Watson's really going to be able to play this year because I think he's going to he's going to have so much freaking rust on him.
I don't know there is any team, like even the high top end teams, I don't know if they're
Vikings and the England.
I don't think they'd be favored versus I don't think the money line would open at 10 points.
And the Eagles, yeah, but do you really trust Jalen Hurts that much? I don't.
Because the Panthers are a lot better than the Bears. I think they're. I think they could be up against the Bears and they'd be favored by 4.5.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's got some dog in him.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. The only reason why I think the Carolina Panthers aren't a lot better than we are is because the guy who wears the headset looks lost. You show him on TV.
Matt Rule, that's an interesting dude. I thought he was gonna be good. He did really great at Baylor, but I thought he was gonna be good.
Nick Saban did really well in college. He went to the NFL and look what happened.
Yeah,
people clowned him. My man is living the dream.
Dude, that's an understatement, dude. So we're gonna hit a couple more segments. Next thing I want to talk about, man, players poised for a breakout year. I just want like 2-3 players max who you think could have a really big year this year.
3 players max?
3 players max who you think could just have a big year. Big turn like
weird people that like aren't necessarily being talked about, but
you could even go like players that like
I'll give him a list and just see
so it can't be like Justin Herbert, who could have a big year. I want it to be a player who is kind of on the come up, maybe a rookie. I'd even take like a high draft pick rookie.
Could it be a veteran?
It could be a veteran, yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
I'd have to agree with you. I think he'd be MVP dark horse.
Kirk Cousins.
Just because of Justin Jefferson.
Well, yeah.
Not just, but largely because of Justin
him,
Jefferson.
And then look who you got on the other side. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey. I think he bounces back and has an amazing year.
You mean for the 4 games that he's not hurt?
Christian McCaffrey. I claimed it. Kyle Pitts from Atlanta.
I like it. All offensive players.
All NFC. But Kyle Pitts going to break out. And people are going to be like, yeah, your team stinks, but holy smokes. You know what I'm saying? People like that all the time. I picked all 3 offensive players. I'm going to go defense real quick. I'm just going to put a big shout out to Isaiah Simmons at Cardinals. Had a horrible game last week, but I think he's a lot better. I think
he has a lot of those.
I think the coach is really messing with him. I think he's better than he is. Get him out of Arizona. Get him to a team that can use his potential, and he's one of the best linebackers in the league. One, not me. I'll use him.
You know where I feel like he would fit
Mitch Trubisky could have a great year too.
Seattle's 4-3 defense. I think they would fit there.
Absolutely.
They always have good linebackers.
They have so many safeties on the field.
They do.
They have speed, and they run that speed linebacker safety look.
I'd be interested to see.
Mitch Trubisky, let me throw his name out there. I should have thrown his name out there.
Oh, yikes, man.
I'm not expecting
I think he's got a lot of expectations.
No, I'm not expecting a whole lot from him, but I think that
Kenny, man.
No, I think he's Jimmy G, man. I think Mitch is Jimmy G. He's going to lead them to the playoffs, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, he's not that great." But if you really think about it, you're like, "This." If he stays in Steelers, he could lead them to the playoffs consistently.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's good enough to win, but you said breakout.
My take last week was if you have that many turnovers versus a team and you kick a game-winning field goal in overtime after the team, you miss a kick, they miss a kick, and you finally make the kick, right? You should win that game by 12 points. You should win that game. And that's why I think you should just start Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's he played I think he was a 4-year starter in college. It might have been, I think it was, he's a 4-year starter in college. At some point, man, you got to go with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
It's not like he's Trey Lance and took 250 snaps in college. He is way more snaps. And I think they should play Kenny. But yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins, I think, dude, he's right there, man. I think he's MVP dark horse. I think he could just be absolutely fantastic this year. Justin Jefferson can have a huge season. I think one of my other players for, kind of poised for a breakout year, honestly, if I'd have to go for a defense, I kind of want to go for a defensive player. It's going to be hard, man. I think, I'm going to go for the easy one here is Trayvon Walker. That number one pick. It's not the crazy pick. Trayvon Walker had that pick already. He had sack versus the Commanders. I think there's a lot of opportunity in that division with teams that don't have great offensive lines to have some highly productive games. I think the Texans don't have a good offensive line. I mean, they just don't.
No.
I think you have I think you could have 2 sacks in that game. So I'm excited to see what Trayvon Walker does. Number one pick coming out of Georgia. He's got a lot of potential. And if I have to go for another, offensive player, I think AJ Dillon's going to have a breakout year. I understand, and that's not like a huge prediction. I understand he's been very productive the last couple of years. I think Aaron Jones really kind of leans into the passing game. I think we started to see that pretty early on in the season. We already saw it. I think Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon could easily have 1,600 yards of total offense to himself by the year's end.
Yeah.
He's a beast of a running back, plows over people. I'm excited. I mean, Packers, they got a long way to go, but I think AJ Dillon's the rock in that offense.
And if you want to talk about really upcoming keep the Jags team, I think Trevor Lawrence had an underrated game.
He did. Except that weird pick he threw. What was that? Why did he roll to the left and then just kind of heave it?
Yeah, and then the guy in the end zone he overthrew.
That happens a lot, though.
I don't think it was Kirk. He's still young. He got right off last year.
This
is almost like a rookie year for him. But you know who I really think is going to be the upcoming player this year? Bradley Pennon, the Falcons punter, because that's all they're going to be doing all year. That's absolutely all they're going to be doing all year.
That's a Clemson boy right there, man.
Bradley Pennon, man. The Falcons, that's all they're going to be doing is punting the ball.
They're going to be punting a lot.
They're going to be punting a lot. Sorry, I had to put that in there because, keep punting.
Dude, seriously. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the last call segment. It's the final segment, and this one that we talk about just a random subject.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. This week I want to talk about Lamar Jackson's situation, man. Last year, I think last week I mentioned this. I think he turned down a 5-year, $290 million, 160, 130 guaranteed, something like that, right? And I want to say this again, last year. I'm just gonna keep pushing this topic, right? If a team in your division, let's say I go to buy a house and I buy a house that's worth $250,000, but I spend $1 million on it. Now, the neighbor next to them who's selling their house, they can't expect to get $1 million off the house.
No.
You're going to get the market price. And the market price, just because the Browns made a bad decision, doesn't mean that Lamar Jackson should expect that. Now, I'll also say I think Lamar Jackson is not getting good advice. I think he needs an agent because I think he's trying to way oversell himself. And he's a great quarterback. I really like watching him. He is fun and electric to watch. I think he's trying to oversell himself, but also I think he's making a huge mistake by playing. Because what happens if he gets hurt? He's risking, let's say $160 million. He's making 23, or I think he's making 30 this year. He's risking $130 million.
Can I tell you why he's playing, Austin? I'll tell you why he's playing.
Why?
Because talent doesn't equate wins. Lamar Jackson needs to show that he's a winner. Lamar Jackson has shown that he is talented, but he's got to get that win column up, and that's what matters in the NFL.
He's got a lot of regular season wins.
Kyle Murray,
but
is talented.
Kyler Murray, dude,
Kyle Murray is almost as talented as Lamar Jackson. Almost, not
almost.
Lamar Jackson's bigger and faster, but
he's put on some meat since he walked in the NFL, man.
He did. And the only difference between Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson's a little bit talented. Would you give Kyler Murray that contract?
Oh, no. I would not have paid Kyler Murray. What a crybaby, man.
Well, if you're not willing to pay Kyler Murray, I don't think anybody should pay Lamar Jackson. I don't think Lamar Jackson brings enough to the table when it comes to wins. I think wins matter, man. Wins matter in the NFL. Why do you think Tom Brady's getting those contracts? It ain't because Tom Brady.
Well, Tom Brady's always taking less money, though.
Yeah, but it's not because he's the most talented guy. It's because he wins.
Well, no, he's always taking less money. He's always taking But I think Lamar Jackson deserved a $45 million a year paycheck. I think he's comparable with guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a step below them.
2, 3.
I think he's a step below them. I think he means a lot more to that Ravens squad than people give him credit for.
Who would you take? Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson without
Lamar Jackson.
Without massages.
Lamar Jackson. He's a better quarterback. Lamar Jackson crushed Deshaun Watson in the playoffs. In the regular season. Lamar Jackson has an MVP, and he's a better. I mean, at this point, he's almost as good of a passer, and he's a far better runner.
So hot take, man.
No, it's not. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback.
Because anybody that watches Deshaun Watson has to realize, holy smokes, give him what Joe Burrow had. And
I mean, I'll give you that. I mean, he's always been surrounded by like a bad division.
Garbage.
A bad
Hopkins, D Hopkins, shut up.
He's always. I mean, they've had some talent on their team, but they don't. He's never been part of a great organization. I get it. Lamar Jackson is part of a great organization, but I would take Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Just straight up, and I don't think that's necessarily a really hot take. But we need to give it a couple years to see what Deshaun Watson can get back to. Because if he can get back to that,
I'm talking first, second year Deshaun.
Right.
It was amazing.
Man, but I mean, second year, Lamar won the MVP through 36 touchdowns, 6 picks, had over 1,000 yards rushing.
And then wasn't that the year at the first playoff game he just ate the bag?
Yeah. No. I think he won a playoff game that year.
I thought
they beat the Colts. I think they beat the Colts that year.
I thought he
fumbled
the ball all the time.
No, he did. No, you're right. Yeah, he did.
And that's Lamar Jackson, man. You get those 12 games.
Well, yeah, but also Deshaun Watson got killed by the Colts in the rookie year.
I'm not even comparing Deshaun Watson right now.
Oh, okay.
The only let me retract that. The only reason why I was just wondering who you take. I wasn't necessarily comparing.
Okay,
I think Lamar Jackson
could
be better. I think he could be better, but I don't necessarily think that. I think Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson are in the same tier.
Yeah, I think they are.
And I think that we all look at Deshaun Watson's contract and say, what are y'all doing? And I think that a lot of teams aren't going to make that mistake that the Browns made. I also think
$231 million guaranteed or whatever it was. That's a bad decision, man. Jimmy Haslam, dude. That's a quick way to piss everyone off.
I think Falcons made a big mistake there with Desmond Ridder because I think Lamar Jackson would fit perfectly in Atlanta.
I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to leave that. But again, I mean, I said it about.
He didn't. He said he's done talking.
So but he's done talking the end of the season. I think they sign a contract by next year.
I think Lamar, and you said, why is Lamar Jackson playing? Because he's proved he can win. Same thing with Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying?
Got to feed those hypothetical children, man.
Dak Prescott got that. Yeah. Dak Prescott got that contract, and now people are wondering, he's good. Is he a winner? No, I don't think so.
When you get paid $40 million a year, you better win, man.
Or you don't have to.
Touche.
Or you don't have to.
All right, guys. I think that's it for this week's edition. I guess. I mean, I run 2 or 3 pods a week now at this point, but that's it for episode 3 of your After Review pod. My name's Austin.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. This is Joe Nichols. He's gonna be on here again. We live pretty close to each other now. But yeah, man. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Definitely appreciate it. Like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you Sunday morning.
It's always going double.